Some of the most fun that I've been having in my video game career recently has been these 16-bit superhero games. Now, not every 16-bit superhero title that I check out is great, but I'm happy to report that today's put a big smile on my face. It's The Amazing Spider-Man Lethal Foes, which actually came out in the mid-90s for the Super Famicom. It wasn't released in North America, but thanks to the fine folks that decide to replicate cartridges, we now have a North American version of this game, which I picked up on eBay and had shipped to me, and I'm very glad that I did. I've wanted to play The Amazing Spider-Man Lethal Foes for a long time. I've often said that Spider-Man is absolutely the best character that you can play in video games because of all the cool things that he can do. Web swinging and shooting people with his webs and the crouching and crawling that he does. And all of that stuff is actually finely detailed in this game. And the game actually is rife with lots of supervillains, all of this Spider-Man. It's called Lethal Foes, so you're gonna see some great characters like Green Goblin and Venom and Scorpion and the Lizard. You're gonna be battling all kinds of great Spider-Man enemies. You're also going to get some cameos from Spider-Man friends and allies like Iron Fist and the Human Torch and Speedball. And there's actually pretty cool little comic booky cut sequences that happen before you get into the action. All of the action in the game is based on pretty simplistic level designs. You've got a clock that's counting down all the time, so you're kind of racing through these levels, and you can fight Spider Slayers and then some purple and green bad guys that might have guns or grenades or rocket launchers that are out to get you. There's all kinds of little obstacles that are trying to impede your path and slow you down. It's kind of like you're racing to get to the boss fight. Then you get into the boss fights, and the animations and the mechanics in these boss fights, not incredibly impressive. There's certainly some clunkiness about it. The combat mechanics are cumbersome, and there's obstructions. Like, you'll find the placement of enemies is, a little insidious. You'll jump up and there'll be some little tiny bug that will hit you improperly, and then you'll collapse and fall into the water, and then you'll have to start that whole level again. But the level design isn't so long and grueling that it never feels that terrible to have to do a restart. It's just fun to kind of play through, and then as you get better at the game and understanding its little haphazard mechanics, you'll want to sort of increase the difficulty levels and challenge yourself a little bit more. I really liked the flavor of the game, the feel of the game. The animation looks great, the colors pop off of the screen, there's lots of great details in the background. There's just enough comic book homages. The fact that J. Jonah Jameson pops up with a Daily Bugle headline in between these levels, he always just says pesky spider or whatever. He doesn't say enough, but there's charm there. There's definitely a lot of charm there. There's also some pretty cool jazzy music all the way through this thing. I had a big smile on my face playing The Amazing Spider-Man Lethal Foes. Like I've been doing with all of my 16-bit superhero reviews, I'm not reviewing this as if I was a young gamer exploring this thing for the first time and scrutinizing every single detail. I'm just reviewing it as I'm playing it today, and I really enjoy this game. I think it was a great purchase. I love that people took the time to translate this thing and kind of create a North American version. This is a very cool tribute to Spider-Man and his universe and Marvel Comics, and it's a shame that it never did get the release back in the day, but I'm glad that you can play it and pick it up now, and I think it's a great addition to my 16-bit superhero collection. I'm going to give The Amazing Spider-Man Lethal Foes an 8 out of 10.